Stop scrolling. Take a breath. Because what I'm about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding in America. Not buried treasure, not gold bars, but quiet pieces of history sitting in drawers, jars, and forgotten boxes across the United States. Coins most people spend without ever looking twice, yet each one carries a story so powerful it's been twisted, exaggerated, whispered and shared across the internet as million-dollar legends. Names like George Washington, James K. Polk, Abraham Lincoln, Grover Cleveland, names stamped into metal, names that built a nation, and names now surrounded by viral claims, shocking headlines, and unbelievable price tags. But today we slow everything down. Today we separate myth from metal, rumor from reality, and hype from authenticated numismatic truth. Because the real story behind these presidential dollar coins is far more fascinating than clickbait numbers. It's a story of minting errors, grading battles, population reports, condition rarity, and how one microscopic detail can change everything. Stay with me until the end, because the final coin challenges everything collectors think they know. And if you collect, inherit, or even casually handle U.S. coins, this documentary may save you from losing history forever. Welcome to USA Mint Coin, where myths are tested and real value is revealed. Stop for a moment and imagine holding the first coin of a series that would attempt to immortalize the leaders of the United States. A coin not only representing currency, but the legacy of the first president of the nation, George Washington, the man who led the colonies to independence, who presided over the Constitutional Convention and whose face would come to symbolize the birth of a nation. In 2007, when the U.S. Mint released the presidential $1 coin program, collectors and casual spenders alike were introduced to a series of coins that seemed ordinary at first glance, small, golden-clad, in manganese brass, weighing 8.1 grams, measuring 26.5 millimeters in diameter with a thickness of 2 millimeters. But like most coins, the magic lay in the details, the artistry, the minting process, and the subtle variations that would later fuel myths of unimaginable value. George Washington's coin, struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver Mint, featured edge lettering, including the year of issue, the mint mark, and the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum and In God We Trust, a design meant to honor the president while adhering to the strict specifications of the program. Yet even in this carefully controlled environment, errors occurred. Misaligned inscriptions, missing letters, doubled edge lettering, and slight die cracks would turn ordinary circulation coins into the objects of fascination for numismatists. This coin, with its portrait of Washington, designed to capture the stoic determination and gravitas of the nation's first leader, carried a story beyond its face value, and immediately, collectors began to scrutinize every example, looking for flaws, varieties, and imperfections. Because in the world of numismatics, a minor error can translate into extraordinary desirability. Online forums erupted with claims of George Washington presidential dollars selling for millions. Social media and YouTube thumbnails glorified these coins as $7 million treasures. Yet these numbers were not based on auction records or certified sales. Rather, they originated from exaggerated speculation. And it became crucial to separate fantasy from documented fact. Professional grading companies like PCGs and NGC became the arbiters of truth, examining coins for surface condition, strike quality, and authenticity, and assigning grades that could range from MS-60 for a mint-state coin with minor imperfections, to MS-70 for a flawless, perfectly struck example, and for this coin, the difference between MS-66 and MS-68 could mean the difference between a few $100s and several thousand, highlighting the importance of understanding grading, population reports, and the rarity of specific errors. A Washington presidential dollar with a missing or doubled edge inscription, for example, is far more coveted than a standard circulated coin. Yet even the rarest error examples remain a fraction of the astronomical figures claimed online. The allure of $7 million, however, persists in viral posts, misleading casual collectors and new enthusiasts, and it is precisely this combination of historical reverence, technical intricacy, and internet-fueled myth-making that makes the story of the George Washington presidential dollar so compelling The U.S. Mint's design process involved careful research into Washington's likeness, drawing from historical portraits and medals, and sculptors and engravers labored to ensure the image captured the essence of his leadership, yet translating a finely detailed portrait to a small, mass-produced coin inevitably introduced small variations, striking pressure, die wear, and the orientation of edge lettering could result in subtle but significant differences. And it is these differences that professional numismatists look for, analyzing coins under magnification to identify anomalies, die cracks, doubled devices, or other unique features, because in the marketplace, these details can elevate a coin from an ordinary example to one that commands attention at auction, and while the legends of multi-million-dollar sales are false, they spark curiosity, drive online searches, and educate collectors about the importance of grading, authentication, and understanding population data. For instance, PCGs keeps a census of how many coins exist at each grade level, and coins at the top end of the scale, especially with verified errors, become the true crown jewels for serious collectors. Adding to the narrative that numismatics is both an art and a science, balancing historical context, physical attributes, and market demand in a delicate ecosystem of value, the George Washington presidential dollar also teaches a lesson about condition, because coins stored in drawers or jars, without protection, often suffer contact marks, abrasions, discoloration, or surface wear, and these factors can drastically reduce their market appeal, whereas coins preserved in original mint rolls, proof sets, or professionally encapsulated slabs maintain their integrity. And it is this integrity that PCGs and NGC certify, giving collectors confidence in both authenticity and condition. For anyone holding a Washington presidential dollar today, taking the time to examine edge lettering, surface detail, and overall strike quality can reveal insights that casual observation might miss. Even minor die cracks or edge misalignments may indicate a unique variant worth adding to a collection, but to appreciate its value, one must understand the intersection of rarity, certification, and market demand. Myths aside, these coins remain accessible, teach lessons about minting, history, and preserve a tangible connection to the early presidents of the United States. And while the $7 million legend is just that, the reality remains that properly graded, error-bearing George Washington presidential dollars still command respect, sometimes fetching thousands, offering a dramatic contrast between hype and authentic numismatic significance. For collectors who aim to buy or sell, choosing reputable venues is essential. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, or direct submissions to PCGs and NGC provide transparency, verification, and access to informed buyers, ensuring that a coin's true characteristics are recognized and appreciated. And beyond the financial considerations, holding one of these coins is holding a piece of history. The metal, the design, the inscriptions, and the subtle imperfections, all telling a story of production, circulation, and the human desire to preserve legacy. And this is the essence of why collectors obsess over presidential dollars, why myths emerge, and why, even today, the George Washington presidential dollar captures attention in ways that mere face value could never achieve. And yet, even after understanding its minting, composition, errors, grading, and market dynamics, the George Washington presidential dollar invites deeper reflection because it represents the intersection of history, artistry, economics, and culture, the way a coin can be ordinary in daily life, yet extraordinary when examined with an expert's eye. The manganese brass composition, the exact 8.1-gram weight, the 26, 5-millimeter diameter, and 2-millimeter thickness, all precisely engineered yet leaving room for subtle variations that define rarity. Collectors examine luster, strike sharpness, planchet quality, and any die anomalies. A coin's edge lettering is scrutinized under magnification for missing or doubled inscriptions, and slight off-center strikes can turn a common coin into a sought-after example, and while the internet propagated myths of $7 million valuations, the true experts understand that population reports, historical auction data, and certified error records tell the authentic story. Coins that survive in MS-68 or MS-69, especially with documented errors, may fetch four-figure prices, sometimes five, but nowhere near the viral figures. And the process of grading, certification, and auction submission itself is an art form. Learning to photograph, document, and submit a coin properly is essential for both sellers and collectors, and in many cases, the story behind the coin, the historical context, the minting process, the presidential portrait, and the edge inscriptions is what drives collector interest more than the exaggerated online hype. Seasoned numismatists recognize the power of patience, of studying die varieties, consulting PCGs and NGC census data, attending live auctions, and understanding how preservation methods influence long-term value. The George Washington presidential dollar exemplifies all these principles, offering lessons in both appreciation and caution, and reminding collectors that the thrill of numismatics lies in knowledge, discernment, and attention to detail. Because each coin tells a story of production, circulation, and preservation. And even as myths of millions persist online, the real market teaches humility, curiosity, and respect for the art and science of coin collecting. For those who hold one today, the Washington presidential dollar is a tangible connection to the nation's first leader, a chance to examine edge lettering, to study die marks, to consider population reports, and to participate in a community of collectors who understand that the true value of a coin lies not in exaggerated figures, but in historical significance, rarity, and expert authentication. Selling through trusted venues ensures the story remains intact, and engaging with this process builds knowledge that can be passed on to future generations. Because the George Washington presidential dollar is not just currency, it is history in your hand. A conversation between past and present, a testament to craftsmanship, and a cautionary tale about viral myths. Yet through careful examination, grading, and expert consultation, the coin becomes more than a legend. It becomes an educational treasure, connecting collectors to the intricacies of U.S. minting, the challenges of numismatic authentication, and the enduring fascination with America's first president, reminding us all that even ordinary coins can contain extraordinary stories if we only take the time to look closely, to analyze, and to separate myth from reality, leaving every holder of a George Washington presidential dollar with both knowledge and awe, understanding that true numismatic value is never a headline, but a careful study, and the journey to uncover that value is as rewarding as the coin itself. And so, with every edge inspected, every strike examined, every certification verified, the George Washington presidential dollar remains a cornerstone of American coin collecting, a starting point for education, fascination, and respect for the craft. And though the legend of $7 million will continue to circulate online, the real story, grounded in numismatic science, history, and careful observation, is far richer, far more compelling, and far more rewarding for those who take the time to learn, study, and appreciate the coin for what it truly is, not what a myth claims. And for collectors of all levels, this coin is a reminder that curiosity, knowledge, and expert guidance are the keys to unlocking the true value of every coin. And that is the enduring legacy of the George Washington presidential $1 coin. George Washington, the first in the presidential $1 coin program, we arrive at a figure less remembered by the general public yet immortalized in the same series, James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, a man who presided over a critical period in America's expansion, overseeing the annexation of Texas, the Oregon Territory settlement, and the Mexican-American War, and in 2008, the U.S. Mint issued his presidential $1 coin, continuing the ambitious program that sought to honor every deceased president chronologically, the James K. Polk coin, like its predecessors, was struck in manganese brass, with a precise weight of 8.1 grams, a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, and a thickness of 2 millimeters, designed for circulation but carrying with it the potential for minor production variations that collectors immediately recognized. The obverse featured a carefully sculpted portrait of Polk, emphasizing his resolute gaze and the serious demeanor of a president tasked with territorial expansion and political compromise, while the reverse maintained the standard presidential $1 design, the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing freedom and national continuity. Yet it was the edge lettering, the inscriptions of the mint mark, the year, and the motto E pluribus unum, that would become a focal point for collectors and, inadvertently, for mythmakers online. As soon as Polk's coin entered circulation, rumors began spreading that certain examples, especially those with edge lettering errors, could be worth astronomical sums. Social media and viral videos amplified these claims, suggesting figures as high as $13 million for a single Polk dollar. Yet, as numismatic experts know, these stories were entirely speculative, inflated by fascination with rare coins and by the human tendency to assign mythical value to presidential images. And while extraordinary edge errors, misstrikes, or doubled inscriptions exist, their true market values are grounded in verifiable auction results and grading populations. PCGs and NGC grading services became critical in this context, assessing coins for surface quality, luster, strike, sharpness, and edge integrity, assigning grades from MS-60 for a mint-state coin with minor imperfections to MS-70 for a perfect, flawless example. And within this system, the rare error varieties, particularly those with missing or doubled edge inscriptions, command attention. Yet even the most spectacular Polk errors fetch four-figure prices, sometimes exceeding 5 figures, but never reaching the million-dollar figures propagated by online myths. Understanding the difference between myth and reality is essential for collectors, because the hype around Polk coins highlights how the numismatic community balances historical significance, minting anomalies, grading, and population reports. A coin's physical properties such as the manganese brass composition, exact weight of 8.1 grams, 26.5 millimeter diameter, and 2 millimeter thickness remain constants, but the edge inscriptions, minor die cracks, strike quality, and plancha imperfections create collectible uniqueness. Collectors examine these features carefully, often using magnification to identify doubled lettering, missing inscriptions, or other anomalies, and the existence of these errors, combined with certified grading, is what determines real-world market value, not viral claims or exaggerated social media headlines. The Polk dollar also illustrates how history and narrative influence collector interest, because, while Polk may be a lesser-known president compared to Washington or Lincoln, the coin becomes a bridge to historical education, prompting collectors to research his achievements, policies, and era, understanding the human and historical story behind the metal. And this deeper context enriches the numismatic experience, reminding collectors that coins are not only about material value, but also about cultural and historical significance. Furthermore, condition remains paramount, because coins exposed to circulation or improper storage develop contact marks, abrasions, and surface toning, which can significantly reduce desirability, whereas coins preserved in mint rolls, proof sets, or professionally encapsulated slabs maintain original luster and strike fidelity, which is why PCGs and NGC certification is critical, ensuring that high-grade or error-bearing Polk dollars are recognized and properly valued in the marketplace. And for collectors considering selling, the choice of venue is equally important. Reputable auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, or direct submission through PCGs or NGC provide transparency, authentication, and access to informed buyers, guaranteeing that the coin's historical and physical characteristics are accurately appreciated. And while online forums and viral videos may continue to propagate the myth of $13 million Polk dollars, the truth remains that genuine, certified, high-grade examples are valuable, but within a realistic, verifiable market range, often commanding prices in the thousands rather than millions. And yet, the fascination persists because these coins, like their predecessors, encapsulate more than metal. They capture the imagination, the possibility, and the enduring human desire to uncover hidden treasure, edge lettering anomalies, or rare varieties, transforming what appears to be a simple $1 coin into a storytelling device, a tool for education, and a subject of intense curiosity. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, the Polk presidential dollar teaches patience, careful examination, and respect for professional grading, reminding us all that numismatic expertise is essential to separating hype from reality. And while social media will continue to propagate exaggerated legends, informed collectors know that authenticity, condition, rarity, and certification are the true measures of value, and in the case of Polk, the myth may be louder than the truth. But the real story is far richer, more nuanced, and ultimately more rewarding for those willing to study and appreciate the coin in all its historical and numismatic complexity. As we dive even deeper into the James K. Polk presidential dollar, we must examine the intricacies of minting and circulation that give these coins their unique stories. Because every coin produced by the U.S. Mint carries subtle differences introduced during striking, die preparation, and planchet handling, and these small variations, though often invisible to the casual observer, become the points of fascination for professional numismatists. The edge lettering, in particular, offers a window into the technical challenges faced by mint operators. Slight misalignments, missing letters, or doubled inscriptions occur despite meticulous quality control, and when such anomalies are discovered, they can become central to collector interest. Yet it is critical to understand that rarity is relative, and even the most visually striking errors must be evaluated within the context of grading, population reports, and verified auction records. PCGs and NGC maintain detailed census data, showing how many examples of each grade and error exist, and coins with exceptionally low populations at the top. Grades often command the highest premiums, teaching collectors that value is a function of scarcity, condition, and authentication rather than rumor or viral hype. Furthermore, Polk dollars illustrate how history intersects with numismatics, because the coin's obverse portrait invites study of Polk's tenure, achievements, and political philosophy, and for collectors, this creates an additional layer of engagement, where the coin is both a collectible and a tangible lesson in American presidential history. Beyond historical and grading considerations, the physical attributes of the coin continue to play a role in desirability. The manganese brass composition produces a distinctive golden hue, the 8.1-gram weight, and precise 26.5 mm diameter ensure uniformity, and the 2 mm thickness accommodates edge lettering and durability for circulation. Yet it is the subtle imperfections, the die cracks, off-center strikes, or edge anomalies that transform a mass-produced object into a collectible with unique story. And while myths of $13 million values dominate online narratives, the reality is far more grounded. High-grade, error-bearing Polk dollars, properly authenticated and certified, are valuable. But their worth is based on documented transactions, careful market observation, and collector demand, typically ranging in the high hundreds to low thousands. And yet, this does not diminish their appeal, because the thrill of uncovering an unusual strike, verifying its grade, and understanding its history is at the core of the numismatic experience. And for those considering selling, Choosing the right venue ensures credibility, transparency, and maximum recognition of the coin's features. Auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections, or submission to PCGs and NGC, offer collectors the opportunity to transact confidently, knowing that buyers respect certified examples, understand grading, and can appreciate historical significance. Moreover, the James K. Polk Presidential Dollar demonstrates the importance of patience, careful examination, and critical thinking in coin collecting, teaching enthusiasts to look beyond viral figures, scrutinize physical characteristics, research population reports, and recognize authentic errors. Because the true thrill lies in knowledge, insight, and discovery, not in inflated legends. And while social media may continue to exaggerate the potential value of Polk dollars, the reality of numismatics rewards those who approach it methodically, with attention to detail, historical understanding, and respect. For professional certification, ultimately, the James K. Polk Presidential $1 coin is more than a viral myth, more than a piece of metal. It is a gateway into American history, a lesson in minting precision, a challenge to discern truth from rumor, and an opportunity for collectors to engage with the enduring complexity, excitement, and intellectual satisfaction of numismatics, teaching that real value is measured not in headlines, but in documented rarity, certified grading, and an appreciation for the intersection of history, artistry, and meticulous craftsmanship. And as we prepare to move to the next presidential dollar, this story reminds us that even lesser-known figures like Polk can hold lessons, intrigue, and collectible significance, provided one understands the fundamentals of coin study, authentication, and market reality. Ensuring that myths are clarified, knowledge is expanded, and every coin becomes an opportunity to learn, explore, and preserve a tangible piece of American history. George Washington and James K. Polk, we arrive at one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose leadership through the Civil War, preservation of the Union, and vision for emancipation made him an enduring symbol of courage and principle, and in 2009, the U.S. Mint honored Lincoln with a presidential $1 coin, a coin that would not only circulate among everyday Americans, but also become the center of online myths, speculation, and collector fascination. The Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar, like its predecessors, was struck in manganese brass, weighing 8.1 grams, with a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, and a thickness of 2 millimeters, engineered for both durability and visual appeal, with an obverse featuring a finely sculpted portrait of Lincoln capturing the gravitas, solemnity, and determination that history associates with his leadership, while the reverse maintained the series standard Statue of Liberty, symbolizing freedom, unity, and the ideals of the United States. Yet collectors quickly learned that the coin's true intrigue lay not only in its design, but in subtle variations introduced during striking, die preparation, and edge lettering. Because the presidential $1 coin program uniquely inscribed the edge with the coin's year of issue, mint mark, and motto E pluribus unum, creating opportunities for misalignments, missing letters, or doubled inscriptions. And it was precisely these minor anomalies that sparked rumors, online videos, and social posts claiming that certain Lincoln dollars could be worth $14 million, a figure far beyond the reality of the numismatic marketplace. These viral myths captured attention, but were entirely speculative, lacking verification from certified auction results, and it became the responsibility of serious collectors and professional graders to discern fact from fiction. Companies like PCGs and NGC meticulously evaluate coins for surface condition, strike quality, planchet integrity, and edge inscriptions, assigning grades from MS-60 for mint state coins with minor flaws to MS-70 for coins exhibiting flawless perfection, and within this system, Coins with rare edge lettering errors or die anomalies are prized, yet even the most exceptional Lincoln errors generally fetch thousands rather than millions, illustrating the difference between sensationalized viral claims and verifiable market value. In understanding Lincoln's coin, it is crucial to examine the interplay of history, artistry, and technical production. The manganese brass composition creates a golden hue. The 8.1-gram weight ensures consistent handling. The 26, 5 mm diameter and 2 mm thickness accommodate durability and edge inscriptions, and these specifications, while uniform, allow for small but significant differences in striking pressure, die alignment, and planchet preparation. And these differences are precisely what numismatists study to identify anomalies and rarities. Edge lettering, in particular, requires careful scrutiny under magnification to detect missing letters, doubling, or orientation issues, because these seemingly small errors are what elevate a coin from ordinary to collectible. Yet even with the most dramatic errors, the true market value is determined by verified sales, certified grading, and population reports. PCGs and NGC maintain extensive census data, showing the number of coins that exist at each grade level and with each error type, and coins with low populations at the top grades command premium attention, teaching collectors that value is a function of rarity, condition, and authentication rather than rumor. Social media continues to propagate $14 million legends, yet the real market is grounded in facts. Certified Lincoln dollars with significant edge errors, MS68 or MS69 in grade, might reach high four-figure or low five-figure prices, and understanding this is critical for both collectors and casual enthusiasts. The Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar also serves as a bridge between history and numismatics, because while Lincoln is widely known, the coin prompts study of his presidency, decisions, and leadership challenges, connecting collectors not only to material value, but to the narrative of America's struggle, unity, and moral evolution. Furthermore, condition plays a critical role in determining desirability. Coins exposed to circulation or stored improperly develop abrasions, surface marks, toning, and contact damage, whereas coins preserved in mint rolls, proof sets, or professionally encapsulated slabs maintain their luster, strike sharpness, and edge lettering clarity, making them far more attractive to collectors. This is why PCGs and NGC certification is essential, providing authentication, grade verification, and access to a transparent marketplace. For those considering selling a high-grade Lincoln dollar, reputable venues such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, or direct submissions to PCGs and NGC are necessary to ensure credibility, prevent misrepresentation, and connect with knowledgeable buyers who recognize both historical significance and certified condition. The coin story extends beyond its physical attributes, because it embodies the intersection of historical reverence, technical minting expertise, and collector fascination. It represents an educational opportunity to understand the meticulous process of coin production, the challenges of striking error-free edge lettering, and the subtleties that distinguish a common circulation coin from a collectible centerpiece. And while online myths inflate its potential value, the authentic experience for collectors lies in careful examination, research, and engagement with numismatic resources. The Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar exemplifies how viral myths can mislead casual audiences, while simultaneously driving interest in professional coin collecting, teaching patience, observation, and the importance of relying on certified data rather than sensationalized claims, even as rumors of $14 million valuations dominate forums. The truth is that certified, error-bearing, high-grade Lincoln dollars are prized for their scarcity, historical connection, and documented anomalies, and their value remains substantial, yet realistic. And beyond monetary consideration, the coin encourages collectors to explore Lincoln's life, his impact on the nation, and the artistry involved in translating history into metal, ultimately reminding enthusiasts that numismatic value is grounded in knowledge, verification, and historical appreciation, not viral headlines. And for anyone holding a Lincoln dollar, examining edge lettering, observing die anomalies, and understanding grading populations transforms an ordinary coin into a window into both history and the science of coin collecting. Delving even further into the Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar, the coin's story becomes richer when considering the technical, historical, and collector-centered aspects that define numismatic significance. The U.S. Mint's careful selection of portraiture reflects an effort to capture Lincoln's serious, contemplative nature, his prominent cheekbones, deep-set eyes, and the solemn weight of his presidency. Translating these subtle features onto a small manganese brass planche required precise engraving, die, preparation, and striking, yet even with expert minting, slight variations inevitably occur, producing coins that differ subtly in strike sharpness, luster, and edge lettering quality. And it is within these differences that numismatists find opportunity. Edge inscriptions, including the mint mark, year, and motto serve as a unique identifier, yet also a source of errors such as missing letters, misalignments, or doubling, and coins with these anomalies, when properly certified, become the focus of collector interest. Yet myths claiming $14 million values exaggerate their worth by orders of magnitude, illustrating the divergence between online legend and real-world numismatic principles. Professional grading by PCGs and NGC ensures that collectors have an objective measure of a coin's quality. Population reports provide transparency, and error verification confirms authenticity, establishing a realistic market expectation. A Lincoln dollar with exceptional strike quality, verified edge anomalies, and an MS-68 or MS-69 grade is highly sought after, commanding respect and a solid price in the thousands. Yet still far from viral claims, condition remains critical. As circulation wear, abrasions, toning, or improper storage can drastically reduce value. Emphasizing the importance of slab certification, preservation, and professional evaluation, collectors must also recognize that the true allure lies in the coin's narrative, connecting Lincoln's historic leadership, the Civil War era, and the minting process to a tangible object in their hands. A manganese brass disc that weighs 8.1 grams, measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, and maintains a 2 millimeter thickness, yet tells a story far larger than its physical dimensions. The educational component cannot be understated. Because examining subtle die cracks, strike variations, or edge misalignments cultivates expertise, teaches attention to detail, and fosters an appreciation for minting history, collectors seeking to sell their Lincoln dollars must approach reputable venues, ensuring transparency, access to informed buyers, and recognition of authentic anomalies, heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, great collections, or direct submission to PCGs or NGC remain the standard, guaranteeing that the coin's significance is properly conveyed. And beyond financial transactions, the coin encourages engagement with historical study, numismatic science, and the art of collecting. The Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar serves as a bridge between myth and reality, between viral legend and certified fact, demonstrating that while online claims of $14 million coins may capture attention, the true reward for collectors lies in knowledge, careful observation, certified grading, and historical connection. The coin embodies the intersection of artistry, precision engineering, and historical narrative, and for those who hold, study, or preserve it, the Lincoln presidential dollar becomes a lifelong lesson in how to approach numismatics with integrity, insight, and curiosity, showing that real value is measured in understanding, authentication, and historical appreciation, not in exaggerated myths. And as the series progresses to the next presidential dollar, these lessons resonate, preparing collectors to navigate the intersection of history, minting, grading, and market reality with confidence, skill, and an informed perspective, ensuring that every coin, every edge inscription, every subtle die anomaly is appreciated for its true significance, not viral exaggeration, and in this way, the Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar remains both a symbol of a transformative period in American history and a reminder of how to separate myth from numismatic reality. As we reach the final chapter of this presidential $1 coin journey, after exploring the myths and realities of George Washington, James K. Polk, and Abraham Lincoln, we turn to a figure who uniquely held office during two non-consecutive terms, Grover Cleveland, the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, a man whose political career embodies resilience, reform, and the complexities of Gilded Age America. And in 2012, the U.S. Mint commemorated his first term with a presidential $1 coin, a coin that, like its predecessors, would circulate widely while also inspiring collector fascination, rumors, and viral myths, some claiming that this coin could be worth $15 million, an extraordinary figure that would spark curiosity and sensationalism across social media. Yet as numismatic professionals understand, these viral claims are entirely unfounded, and the real story lies in the coin's history, design, minting process, and authentic market value. The Grover Cleveland first-term presidential dollar was struck in manganese brass, maintaining a weight of 8.1 grams, a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, and a thickness of 2 millimeters, specifications consistent across the presidential $1 coin program. Yet each coin carries subtle variations. The obverse features a finely detailed portrait of Cleveland from his first term, capturing the stern, determined expression that characterized his commitment to civil service reform, fiscal responsibility, and political integrity, while the reverse adheres to the series standard, depicting the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing freedom, democracy, and national continuity. Yet, as collectors know, the real intrigue lies not only in the design but in edge inscriptions, because each presidential dollar bears inscriptions along its rim, including the year of issue, mint mark, and the phrase e pluribus unum, creating opportunities for errors, misalignments, and doubled lettering. And it is precisely these anomalies that fuel both collector excitement and online myths. Early in its release, social media and viral videos propagated the notion that certain Grover Cleveland dollars could command $15 million, a number that is entirely speculative, not corroborated by certified auction results, and in reality, the most desirable error-bearing or top-graded Cleveland first-term dollars command values in the high four figures or low five figures, depending on certification, condition, and rarity. Professional grading companies like PCGs and NGC are critical in establishing authenticity and market value because they assess strike quality, surface preservation, planchet integrity, and edge lettering accuracy, assigning grades from MS-60 to MS-70. And within this framework, coins exhibiting rare errors, such as missing or doubled edge inscriptions, low population top grades, or die anomalies, attract serious collector interest. Yet the online myths grossly exaggerate their value, highlighting the importance of relying on documented auction results, grading census data, and verified certification rather than sensationalized claims. Condition is paramount for determining the desirability of Cleveland dollars, because coins exposed to circulation, improper storage, or contact with other coins develop surface marks, abrasions, toning, and loss of luster, whereas coins preserved in mint rolls, proof sets, or professionally encapsulated slabs maintain their original strike quality and edge lettering clarity, enhancing both collector interest and market value. And for those seeking to sell, submitting coins through reputable venues such as heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, or directly through PCGs and NGC ensures authenticity, transparency, and access to informed buyers who recognize both historical significance and numismatic rarity, and beyond financial considerations, the Cleveland dollar provides a compelling connection to history, allowing collectors to study the man, his policies, and the era he governed, while simultaneously examining the technical precision of minting, the subtleties of die preparation, and the challenges of maintaining consistent edge inscriptions across millions of coins, and in this way the coin is both educational and collectible, a physical embodiment of history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery, teaching patience, careful observation, and respect for professional grading, while also serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of viral myths. The $15 million legend is designed to capture attention, but it is the coin's true rarity, condition, certification, and documented auction history that determine its value, and in studying the Cleveland first-term presidential dollar, collectors gain insight into how minting anomalies occur, how population reports influence scarcity, and how edge lettering errors can make a coin desirable yet within realistic market parameters. Furthermore, understanding the coin's physical properties, the manganese-brass composition, 8.1 gram weight, 26.5 millimeter diameter, and 2 millimeter thickness, provides context for evaluating both standard circulation examples and error varieties, emphasizing the intersection of artistry, history, and technical precision. Even subtle differences in strike depth, luster, or planchet quality can influence grading outcomes and collector perception, and the Grover Cleveland dollar teaches that numismatics is as much about careful study and critical thinking as it is about the coin itself, fostering a mindset of patience, attention to detail, and respect for certified evaluation. And while myths may capture the imagination of casual collectors, those who engage deeply with population data, historical context, and certification understand the true significance of the coin, recognizing that authentic error-bearing, high-grade examples are prized for thousands, not millions. And in this way, the Cleveland presidential dollar exemplifies the balance of historical narrative, minting craft, grading expertise, and market realism that defines serious coin collecting, while also encouraging educational engagement with America's political and numismatic heritage. And as we examine the final aspects of this coin, its story reveals that myth, fascination, and reality coexist in the numismatic world, providing lessons for collectors at every level, and emphasizing that true value is grounded in knowledge, authentication, and historical connection rather than viral speculation. The Grover Cleveland first-term presidential dollar thus stands as a capstone to this myth-busting series, embodying history, artistry, precision, and the enduring appeal of presidential coinage. Looking even deeper into the Grover Cleveland first-term presidential dollar, the complexity of minting, grading, and collector psychology becomes apparent, because every manganese-brass planchet produced by the U.S. Mint passes through multiple stages, from die preparation to striking to quality inspection. Yet even in this controlled process, subtle variations occur, creating differences in strike quality, luster, and edge lettering alignment, and for serious numismatists, these nuances are central to a coin's collectible potential. Missing or doubled edge inscriptions, minor die cracks, and off-center strikes are precisely the anomalies that transform an ordinary circulation coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Yet these anomalies must be properly certified to establish value, because myths claiming $15 million coins cannot substitute for objective grading. PCGs and NGC provide this certification, examining coins under high magnification, evaluating planchet integrity, strike depth, and surface preservation, and documenting any anomalies. Their population reports provide transparency, showing how many coins exist at each grade level and with specific errors, allowing collectors to evaluate scarcity accurately. A Cleveland first-term dollar graded MS-68 or MS-69 with a verified error becomes a collector's gem, while coins with standard strikes and typical circulation wear remain accessible for everyday collectors, and understanding this balance between myth and reality is crucial for developing expertise. Furthermore, the coin's design and historical context enrich its narrative, because examining Cleveland's portrait invites study of his policies, reform efforts, and the political climate of his first term, connecting collectors not only to numismatic details, but also to the broader tapestry of American history. The manganese brass composition produces a distinctive golden appearance. The precise weight of 8.1 grams, diameter of 26.5 millimeters, and thickness of 2 millimeters ensure uniformity, yet slight differences in die pressure and planchet quality create unique examples for study. Condition remains a dominant factor in value, as circulation wear, surface abrasions, and improper handling can dramatically reduce desirability, whereas preservation in mint rolls, proof sets, or professionally encapsulated slabs maintains strike quality and edge lettering clarity, increasing both collector interest and market value. Selling through trusted venues, including heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, and PCGs or NGC submissions, ensures transparency, credibility, and access to informed buyers. While also validating the coin's true numismatic significance, the Cleveland dollar teaches patience, attention to detail, and the importance of relying on verified data rather than viral exaggerations. And even as online myths continue to inflate its supposed value, the authentic experience lies in studying, certifying, and appreciating the coin's design, minting characteristics, and historical importance. For collectors, this coin embodies the intersection of artistry, history, technical precision, and market reality, illustrating that real numismatic value is grounded in knowledge, observation, certification, and historical connection rather than sensationalized speculation. And holding, examining, and understanding a Cleveland first-term dollar provides insight into minting processes, grading, and collector psychology, while also connecting enthusiasts to the political legacy of one of America's most unique presidents, demonstrating that myth and reality coexist in coin collecting, that viral figures can inspire curiosity but must be weighed against professional grading and market data. And ultimately, the Grover Cleveland presidential dollar reminds collectors that every coin is a lesson in history, artistry, and numismatic science, rewarding patience, careful study, and informed decision-making. And concluding this series of presidential $1 coins, it stands as a testament to the enduring appeal, educational value, and collectible significance of American coinage, showing that even when myths exaggerate value, the real treasure lies in knowledge, authentication, and the appreciation of history preserved in metal.